All right, we're going to work on some scientific notation stuff the rest of this week, and then we will take a test over everything we've learned. So exponent rules you still need to know. They'll still be a test, but for now we're taking a slight detour into scientific notation. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is how to approximate a large number. So the very first thing we're going to do is round this to just our very first digit. So when I round this, the number after it is 3, which means I'm going to round down. So I would have 300 million. So this is approximately 300 million. And I would round down because this is smaller than 5. Okay, now how we write that with scientific notation is we would have 3 times 10 to the 8th power, because after my 3, I have 8 digits. Okay, so for this one, I would have 8 billion, because again, my very next digit is a 0 that's going to round us down, okay, which would be 8 times 10 to the 9th. So you don't have to write all those zeros. All right, here, this second digit is an 8, which means it's going to round us up from a 9 to a 10. So that'd be 100 billion. So this one would be 1, so not 10, just 1 times 10 to the 11th power, because I have 11 digits after that one. Okay, so that's how we would, so first you round it, then you write it in scientific notation, which is this 3 times 10 to the 8th, 8 times 10 to the 9th, and so on. So for a small number, we'll do the same thing. We want to round to 1 digit, which is this first one we encounter. The next number is a 2, so it's going to round down. So I would write it like so. You want to make sure you have the same number of zeros as you did before. And then you would write this as 9 times 10 to the -5th power, because after my 9 I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits, and since it's small, our exponent's going to be negative, because remember, our negative exponent makes things smaller, our positive exponent makes things bigger. So right here, this is positive for large numbers and negative for small numbers. So here, if I round this one, after my 3 is an 8, so that's going to round us up to a 4. Okay, so that'd be 4 times 10 to the -4th, because after my 4, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 digits. Okay, you need the 0 in front of your decimal. Okay, one more. After the 7 is a 2, so it's going to stay the same. Okay, not round up. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the 7. Okay, so that'd be 7 times 10 to the -6. Okay, we have 6 digits after our 7, or before our 7. Okay. Also, when you have decimals, you can't include the commas because you already have the decimal point. So you have to be careful and double count your digits. They're harder to count. When you have a large number, every 3 you can put a comma, and that helps you keep them separated. And you start from right to left for every 3. Okay, so like this 8 is on its own. Our 3 groups of 3 started from the right side. Okay, so do include the commas on large numbers. You cannot include commas on your small numbers. The distance from Saturn to Neptune is about 1,911,674,960 miles. The distance from Mercury to Neptune is about 1.5 times this distance. What is an approximate distance from Mercury to Neptune? So the first thing I'm going to do is take the number they gave me and round it. okay, like we were doing on that first slide. So this, my second digit is a 9, so it's going to round up to a 2. Okay, then we can write this in scientific notation. This would be 2 times 10 to the 9th, because after my 2, I have 9 digits. Next, what we're going to do is take this 2 times 10 to the 9th and multiply by 1.5. Okay, this said 1.5 times, so we'll take this times 1.5. Okay, when you do this, all you have to do is multiply 2 and 1.5. 2 times 1.5 is 3. So now our answer is 3 times 10 to the 9th miles. Okay, this is our answer. Okay, or if you wanted to rewrite it in standard notation, it'd be 3 trillion miles. Yep, 3 trillion miles. Actually, it'd be billion. 3 billion miles. Okay. The distance from Mercury to Mars is about 105,651,744 miles. The distance from Saturn to Jupiter is about 4 times this distance. So what is the approximate distance from Saturn to Jupiter? So again, just like our last problem, we are going to round it first. My second digit is a 0, so I'm going to leave it the same instead of round up. And then we could rewrite this as 1 times 10 to the 8th, because after my 1, I have 8 digits. Okay, then it says we want 4 times that distance. So you have 1 times 10 to the 8th times 4. But you just have to take 1 times 4, and you have 4 times 10 to the 8th power. Okay, and we're still talking about miles. We always want to label when we can. Or if you wanted to rewrite it out in standard form, you'd have 400 million miles. Okay. Your assignment is a worksheet, so you will need to raise your hand and show your notes to get your homework.